So it's Sunday morning and it's not even 7:30 yet, and I'm down on the allotment because it's going to be a gorgeous day today and I'm off out hiking, but I want to give the plants the maximum amount of light and ventilation. So I'm just going to open up some of these beds and let them enjoy a day of sunshine. Now most of them are fine, you know, they're really well ventilated, they're going to get full sun through here, but this one, for example, is fully shaded by this one, so I'm going to open this one up and I'm going to open up the polytunnel at both ends as well. It actually feels like there's been a frost, so yeah, let's just check that out in here. Yeah, -0.3, so it is pretty chilly today. Anyway, I'm off to the Lake District and that's all my job's done, I think. I'm pretty pleased actually that we've had a frost. We're going to have another frost, I think, a few this week. It'll kill these ochre and let the tubers swell. Most of the root veg is already pretty sweet, but they'll sweeten up even more. So I'll probably close these if we're at risk of a hard frost at night. Maybe I'll do that this evening as well, just in case. But other than that, everything is completely frost hardy here, so we don't really mind. And so that means I'm done and I can get on and drive up to the lakes. Just open this door and there we go, perfect. So I'm climbing some of the viewpoints today on the east coast, east shore of Lake Windermere. It's the quickest place for me to get to, really, in the Lake District, and there's such great shops and cafes and everything, and absolutely stunning viewpoints. So I just popped up to Post Knot, which is the first viewpoint, and really looks pretty good until you compare it to Brant Fell, which is where I'm going next. Fell is just it's a pretty modest little climb just up there, but the views when you get to the top are absolutely stunning. It's early in the morning, there's no one around, and I will be home for a nap this afternoon, so enjoy the views. So gosh, it was pretty windy up there, and so I'm pretty pleased now that I'm heading down sort of this way, going around here through these lowlands where it's going to be much more sheltered. So that's the end of the walking bit of this video. Back to gardening probably tomorrow. Just finishing the day off on the beach. Difficult to see probably on the video, but incredible images over there of the Welsh mountains. So it's Monday morning, just been having a nice swim. Willow and I are now out walking on the beach and it's gorgeous. Light levels today out here are 78,000 lux, which is 78 times what it was in the polytunnel last week on a cloudy day. Amazing what a difference a sunny day makes. And we're going to be walking through the dunes soon. And Willow really likes sitting here, particularly likes the fact she's got a bird's eye view of all of the dogs, but also she's looking at me at the moment because she's wondering who I'm talking to, trying to keep her eyes out of the sun. So we've climbed to the top of the high dunes to get a nice view. Next stop, allotment. So I just arrived at the allotment and it was -1.8 last night, and I didn't protect anything. I don't generally protect anything at this time of year because I think that everything just kind of sweetens up with a few frosts, toughens up as well, and prepares things for harder frosts to come. I will start protecting things though when light levels drop, because I think that the combination of low light levels and really cold nighttime temperatures doesn't seem to be so great for the plants. Whereas now, as you can see, they'll all be covered fine. Just these cauliflowers maybe just a little bit floppy still, but again, they'll recover pretty soon. Still quite frosty in the shade. And all I'm really doing on the allotment today is I'm just opening beds up just so that they're getting, you know, maximum kind of light levels, and I won't open them much more than that, because as you can see probably there, maybe if I zoom in, they get in really good sunlight in there just with having the low tunnels open about a foot. So that's what I ended up doing. I opened this spinach because it's shaded by that purple sprouting broccoli, and I opened that spinach because it's shaded by that low tunnel, but everything else is just on its vented settings. You know, and to be honest, spinach doesn't really mind the cold, but it really benefits from the light at this time of year. So I'm just going to get these gooseberries pruned, and then that'll be me done on the allotment for the day. So there we go. I don't really know how to prune gooseberries. My criteria is just generally, can I walk past them without getting spiked, and can I get easy access into the centres of them to harvest, and is there going to be good airflow between the branches? So that's kind of how I do it. And since I have the shears in my hands, I decided I'd also give these trees a little bit of a prune. Not the cherry trees and the plum trees. You do those in summer, I think. I'm no expert really on pruning trees or anything else, but they're a nice shape now. There is a small little tree, so I don't want to prune them too much, but there's no tangling branches now, so I'm pretty happy with those. Lovely sunset today. It's probably going to colour up quite nicely with all those clouds in the sky. So there we go, sun has set. Here's a little time lapse of the setting sun, just the last few seconds. So I'm out on my bike today. It's not a bad day. It's a little windy, it's a little cold. But we are very lucky here. We've got this amazing promenade that runs all the way to Fleetwood. So it's about, I don't know, 25 miles perhaps. And all off-road. So that's what I'm going to be enjoying today. So it's Thursday today, and what a lovely day it was. We had a really lovely walk on the beach, me and my daughter this morning, and the dog Winnie. And then I went for a health club and all of that. And then I decided, when I looked at the weather forecast, that I was going to harvest on Thursday. We normally harvest on Saturday, but we're just going to have really high winds on Friday and Saturday. So I thought, no, get it done today, get it out of the way, and get some of those indoor jobs done over Friday, Saturday. So yeah, let's take a look at what it turned out like. So here's today's harvest, and at first inspection it probably looks almost exactly like last week's harvest, but actually it's noticeably less in that in order to produce this harvest I've harvested from more beds, because gradually more beds are lettuce beds and spinach beds and onion beds, etc. are coming on stream. So although I can produce as much food I need more space to do it at this time of year. But that's kind of the design, because obviously what we want is this table full of food, and it doesn't really matter how much space we use. So I'll just talk you quickly through it. I've got some really lovely chard, just a few potatoes from the store, beetroot from the store, a few herbs, onions and shallots from the store, and garlic, leeks from the ground, parsnips, one good parsnip, and those three were all in the same station, so I obviously didn't thin those out very well. And that's kind of what happens when you have 3 parsnips growing in the same place. You don't get a nice big one like that, you get 3 tiddlers. Winter miners lettuce, salad carrots, Jerusalem artichokes. Whoa, these carrots, I was amazed. They're huge, really good sizes. So I'm really pleased with those. Last of the outdoor turnips, one more harvest of outdoor radish, and then we're on to the ochre. Field bean tops. I think that's probably the end of the field bean tops now until February. Colettes and sprouts, spinach. Spinach is gorgeous at this time of year, lovely and sweet. And then we've got pak choy and tatsoi all down there, and then purple sprouting broccoli, perennial kale leaves, curly kale leaves, purple and green Brussels sprout leaves, and I think that's it for the brassicas. We are having to be careful not to harvest too many brassicas at this time of year. And then we've got more spinach, salad onions, salad onion tops, and then that rest of the table are salad bases. So I'm still pretty pleased with that. We've got loads of food in reserve. So as we head into winter next week, it's all looking pretty good. So I'm just closing up on Thursday, and polytunnel is getting properly closed, bolted at the bottom and locked here, because pretty bad storm come in over the next few days. All the brassicas have been tied in, and all the low tunnels, coal frames are battened down. Still vented though, because it's still quite sunny. So it's Saturday, and it's been a bit of a wild day actually. I didn't realise it quite so much when I was out on the prom and just walking around and enjoying the sunrise. But by the time I got to the allotment, I noticed that there was a few things wrong, and a few bits of repair work needed to be done. But I've done another video about that, so if you want any more on that, then take a look at the video that I've just published on Saturday. And so you'll see this video probably on Sunday or Monday, and I wanted to show you the planning work that I've been doing. So this is just my ordinary database, and this is the planning view that I use. So I've got all of the beds down here, and all of this is my plot, so it's prefixed with my initials, Steve Richards, and then the bed number and a description of the bed, so I can actually figure out which bed I'm actually planning, and then each month obviously. And so here you can see all the months of the year. I just take a copy of this each year, new copy, and update it. And then all the different varieties that I'm sowing in each bed in each month. And in my view of this, but not in the one that I share with you guys, you can just click on this and you'll see the details of the variety, and you know how to plant it, what months you can plant it, planting density and all of that sort of thing. Now I would share this with you, it's just unfortunately I can't figure out how to do it, because it should work but it doesn't. So you just get a plain view, and I'll show you that in a second. And I find this pretty difficult, this view to work with. It's great for planning, but it's not very good for kind of balancing the plot to make sure that I've got a right mix of all the different types of veg in each month of the year. And so for that one, I use this photo grid, which is just exactly the same data, but now instead of the variety name, it's just showing you a photograph. And you can see that in some months, in some beds, for example, in this one, there's a mix of different plants in that bed. So all of my interplantings are kind of visible here. And I've actually filtered this view so that it's just showing my plot. But if I removed that filter there, then it would show all the plots and the back garden and the front garden, and that is pretty useful. And then I can kind of filter it by month, and I can show like everything where I've got lettuce growing, or everything where I've got spinach growing, or carrots growing, or whatever. And I find that really useful across all the different plots to make sure that I don't have too much of stuff and I don't have too little of stuff. So planning takes me a couple of days a year, and so I only tend to do it when the weather is really foul, or just when I need a bit of a distraction. And I actually really enjoy the planning process. I find it quite creative to try and figure out how to grow everything that we want, how to squeeze it all in, and where the best interplants are, and how to get all the successions to work and all of that sort of thing. And if we go just back here, back into the planning view again, right, then you'll see, there's a lot of successions going on because every bed is planted with something every month of the year. And sometimes the last crop and the new crop are shown in the same month. And that sometimes is a relay plant. I am planting into the bed the new crop before the old crop has been harvested, and sometimes it's just to indicate that the transition will occur sort of mid-month or something like that. So that's kind of what I've been up to in the planning space. So I just wanted to quickly show you the view that you will see, and you can find the links to these views in the description. So you'll basically just get two links, which will open as two tabs in the browser. And they're basically the same as I'm seeing, with all the same kind of capabilities. You can filter and group and sort and all of that sort of thing. So let me just quickly show you what I mean by that. So if you went into filter, for example, and you wanted to look at what onions I've got growing in June, then you look at the titles here, and we're looking at June. They're all the ones with plus after them, so we would pick June plus as the field, and it contains onion. And then you'll see all the onions I've got growing in June. And you can change that to be May, and those are again all the onions I've got growing in May. Or we could put Marathon, and there's the Calabrese that I've got growing in May. So you've got all those options there. As I say, you can group as well, and you can sort. Well, I wouldn't recommend you sorting, but what you can also do, let me just get rid of this filter for a second, is you can click here and you can click download CSV, and then if you open that up, then basically you get a spreadsheet of all of my data. So then you can cut and paste that wherever you want, or use it in whatever way you want. So that is all quite nice. I will do a proper video showing you all of these sorts of details at some point in the future, but for now I think that's enough, and that is pretty much all the gardening that I got done on Saturday. So I hope you like this quick video. My name's Steve, this is the Seaside Kitchen Garden and Allotment channel, and I'll see you soon.